The intro gets me every time. I challenge anybody else in the entire sphere to have a better intro than that. Red Evening's got nothing on this show, let me tell you. All right, gentlemen, welcome to Man's Hour, episode 60 on Get Rich Quick Schemes. I'm, of course, joined by two fellow gentlemen of power. Making his return once again is the most handsome man in Chicago, Chad Elkins. How are you, sir?
Oh, good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And making his return again is Captain Capitalism himself, Aaron Clarey. How are you, sir?
Howdy, howdy.
Alrighty. So, gents, let's just jump right on into it here. Cappy, tell us, why is everyone poor? What's happening right now? The mortgage rates are all-time highs, and there's fights in the streets, and the food prices are through the roof. And what's happening? Tell us.
All right. Well, the reason you're poor is one of two things. When you're in, well, three things. If you're innocently poor, meaning it was outside of your control, that is either because you had a disability, some truly bad happened to you, you got hit by a truck, medical bills. So there's that. The second instance of innocent poor is that your mom was a whore and your dad was a douche and they had more kids they could afford. That is the number one cause of poverty. And if you are poor as a child, that is also not your fault, but that's the number one cause of poverty. I'm being deadly serious. And then after you turn 18 and you're a legal adult, you should be poor from 18 to maybe even 30, depending on which route you go. But I'm going to say the main reason you're poor after you get through college and establish yourself or go to trade school, whatever, the main reason you're poor is because of yourself. You have made bad choices. Usually you're lazy. You do not work. You're also a materialist. You buy things you don't need and can't afford. And that would describe, I'd say, post-child, 98% of the people who are poor, they are poor because of their own bad mistakes and bad decisions.
Yeah, excellent. Now, obviously, the best advice is to, avoid being poor in the first place and not make these mistakes and these screw ups that you were just mentioning right here.
Right.
But, onto the topic of the show, these get rich quick schemes. And of course, there are many of them around, from, pyramid schemes to, flipping houses, which I tried to do for a period. Because I had a worthless degree and was trying to make money as well, so I made some mistakes and was trying to get back to it. But Cappy, what is wrong with a get rich quick scheme, and why it's not going to ensure that you are po no mo?
What one thing is wrong with get rich quick schemes?
Oh, all of them. Go off,
well,
Cappy.
okay. Well, the fact it's quick. The paradox of a flooded market. If there's easy money to be made, people are going to immediately flood that market and whittle away all the profit. All right. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And so 9 out of 10, well, not 9, 99 out of 100 times, it's like, hey, all you have to do is whatever, my stock options trading course, bro, or my flipping crypto, bro, or my flipping course. Someone's offering you a course on how to get rich quick. It's like, why the hell aren't you getting out there doing your own thing? I mean, and Chad could tell about this because of financial markets. If I figured out a way to trade stock options and make money, the last thing you would do is tell people your tactic or technique because it would eliminate all the profit. And so any kind of, hey, take my course or in this short, 5-minute thing, if it doesn't take work, if it's not hard, if it's not laborious, or if at least it's not intelligent where you're coming up with something unique and new, that's a get rich quick scheme. And, so that's kind of the telltale sign is a teacher that says, oh yeah, here's how you do it. And like, well, why are you doing it? So that's one. Mm-hmm. And then anything like, oh yeah, you could, unless you're a girl with big tits and you're on the internet, you ain't getting rich quick. It just isn't going to happen. Not without work,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure, Chad, you can testify to this because you are actually the man on the ground who gets to see people's income and everything. Nobody's hiding stuff from you. You get to see. You're like the guy, the Wizard of Oz. You're the guy who peels back the curtain, sees all the real money. So, what do you have to say?
I got to tell you, one of the cool things about doing what I do is that, yeah, you get to know what everybody makes, which, I mean, I think that's kind of cool because you would be surprised. You see people, driving around in these nice looking cars, they got these big old McMansions, but then you take a look at their balance sheet and you look at the amount of debt that they're in. I mean, it would shock you guys, some of these. It's just, and, I think that I mean, I'm sure this is going to come up, but I've been dealing with a shit ton of crypto bros lately in the last couple of years because a
Oh,
very
yeah, took a huge downturn. Yeah.
that's what's been so fascinating about this is that, in 2021, some of them did get rich pretty quickly, but they weren't smart about it. They either held on for it for way too long or they sold it and then reinvested it and it all cratered. So I mean, that's what I've been seeing a lot, and I'm even dealing with some of that this week because no, there's only another week and a half to file your taxes. So obviously, I'm getting a lot of dudes coming in at me late, like, "Can you help me? Can you help me?" So
Yeah, yeah. What? There's extensions? What? I have to pay these things to the government? I have to file my paperwork? What? Can you do this for me at the last moment? Yeah, I'm sure you get plenty of that this time of year. But would you guys also say there is an over index of, people who are in these get rich quick schemes, kind of like you were just describing there, Chad, of that not only do like some of these guys, maybe they hit a home run and maybe they make their money, but I guarantee you there's such an over index with these people who go out and spend that money immediately, don't squirrel it away for a rainy day
Or
fund.
borrow against it. That would be the.
Yeah,
yes, a friend of mine did
exactly.
that.
So undoubtedly there's a portion of this as well, because like the lifestyle of these get rich quick dude bros, as we like to call them, the whole lifestyle is about flash. Do you guys remember that quote from Scarface? He's like, the guys who want it all, the chicas, the money, the flash, they don't last.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First you
Yeah,
get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. Or I might
Well,
have.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it. I mean, I don't know if there's more of it now than there's been before. There were always that multi-level marketing schemes and
Yeah.
all that other stuff. I think maybe it's just now that it's on the internet, maybe there's a little bit more to it than that. But I mean, you hit it on the head with the amount of posers that go out there.
Yeah.
And this is why, Myron over at Fresh and Fit, everyone's like, "Oh, look at these two idiots." Da, da, da. I was like, dude, Myron's a minimalist. He saves his money. He doesn't do any of that partying shit.
Yeah.
There's
Smart
guys
guy.
that say, yeah, he's not wearing rings and dressing like a clown. But then, man, for every one of them, like if I see a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, or I'm not going to say who, a Bugatti, I'm just like, yeah, I like Chad. I want to see your audited balance sheet. And I also want to see if you're paying taxes or not. And so, there's I mean, okay, let's add a third rule, Red Hawk. If there's any high-end sports car in there, it's likely
Yes.
a scam. Yeah, it's likely a scam.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's got to be one of the fastest ways to piss away money possible. I mean, another big one, like in the Great Lakes region, is the boats. Like everyone like buys their boat, and you can only use it like 3 months out of the year.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if you were down like Florida, you get year-long access to
You
it.
could live on it, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the Great Lakes states and everything like that, but yeah, that's a quick way to piss away your dough.
Well, as you can imagine, I see this a bunch here, on Lake Michigan right here, and you can't really use the boats but a few months out of the year, like you're saying. And some of these guys are just drowning in expenses.
Well, then the other thing about the boat is that you got to pay to store it somewhere in the wintertime, which isn't cheap at all.
Yeah.
But does it get you the girls?
You know what? A lot of these guys ain't getting the girls, so whether they got a boat or not. A lot of them are married dudes that are just drowning in debt, and this is not going to save them. So.
Well, I mean, we have no shortage of these like ass clowns in our corner of the internet that we like to populate. I mean, you see a new one of these clowns pop up every week on Twitter, who like buys a bunch of followers, gets like 2 likes on every one of his tweets, and poses with all of the the sports cars and everything. It's like, I'm going to teach you how to make the money, and I'm going to teach you how to get the girls. And there's just no.
Is he wearing sunglasses indoors? Let's add that as a fourth one to tell. He's wearing sunglasses indoors at night. At night, that might be a tip off.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, as we all know, in this space, I mean, the best ROI you're going to have on the pursuit of the girls is going to the gym, not spending a bunch of money.
Thank you, Red Hawk. You hit it out. Yes.
And that's hard work. You can't just luck your way into muscles, right?
Yeah.
You actually have to do the work.
Yeah.
What if I get really nice cufflinks and coif my hair using Super Cream? I heard that will get me the girls.
Oh man, like I feel bad picking on these guys, but I do like I've cut down on it now because I just don't respond anymore. But I used to get a much bigger influx of guys in my DMs, and they would just like spurt out, like 300 paragraphs long of stuff and just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like, how am I going to get to girls? And it's like, dude, it's not like a engineering problem or something like that. You can't just throw everything out it, and you can't be thinking of it as a math problem. Like, oh, okay, I'm on step 1 of the mystery method right now, and now I gotta throw in a neg, and now I gotta do this, and now I gotta do that, and like, oh man, is this beta? Is this alpha? It's like, no, fellas, it's not how
Just
it works.
Spurgy.
Yeah. And part of me feels bad about it because, like, to an extent, I was like that. I mean, I came from a broken home. Didn't exactly get the correct tutelage and the correct education on, the pursuit of the girls. When I was in my formative years, so I get it. But at the same time, it's like you gotta go in and get your punches. Same thing with making money. And also like if you're just gonna stumble across like one of these, get lucky, get rich quick schemes. Let's say it actually works for you. It's like, well, what the hell else are you going to do with your time? It's like those guys that win the lottery and they like piss it all away in like 1 year. Yeah. There's definitely something to that. I think like guys like really, they have to have like a, like a craft, a job, a purpose, like something to aim for. If you're just like aimlessly walking around, I don't know, man.
And Chad might be able to cite the statistics. Most people who win that lottery, they end up losing it within 5-10 years. But I would say, also with Chad, we have a friend in common, Atham. Everybody knows who Atham is. And I think, especially watching him, you have to go through the trials and tribulations to become wealthy, to actually earn your own wealth so that you appreciate it.
Yes.
And you'll never change or become spoiled. Because it is a responsibility to manage, let's say you win $10 million lottery. If you're some, crocodile humping trailer trash down in Florida or Alabama or whatever, and you win the lottery, you don't know how to handle it, and you're never gonna appreciate it. Whereas if you've worked hard at it, okay, fine, and then you do some kind of, say, realtors. Realtors are an example of where I think. Yeah. Is it kind of get rich quick? Not really. You got to put your work into it, but some people do exceptionally well. But they've put in the work, and so when they do make the money, they do appreciate it.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm trying to make sure I get across, when I'm doing my streams is that, and I've had some consultations where I've had to say this, it's not going to happen overnight. You can't just, take a few courses, go to H&R Block, learn how to, like, it's going to take a while to like build yourself up to be a practice to where you're like fully established. And I'm worried that some of the younger kids I talk to think you can just snap your finger and do this. So I think I need to emphasize the work involved with it a little bit more when I'm talking about it.
What is more inefficient than the work? What they're looking for is an efficiency.
Quick
a fix. Shortcut, which is and that's fine. And the amount of work that it takes to either succeed in setting up your own accounting practice or becoming an engineer, the only thing that is more inefficient than that is, guess what?
What's that?
Trying to find the shortcut, of which that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Shut the F up and do the work. And here's Red Hawk. This is where it kind of perturbs me. Every one of these cocksuckers knows it. Everyone knows it. Even when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, girls are going to like me for myself. Good. I don't have to go to the gym. Yet at some level I knew, man, I gotta like the guys with the muscles are the ones but I don't want to go to the gym. And I'm going to tell you right now, stop dicking around with yourself. Stop dicking around with me. Stop dicking around with everyone in society. You're either going to do this work or you're not. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Leave and stop torturing yourself over it. Just be okay. You're not going to have the money. You're not going to get the girls. You're not going to have the house. You're not going to have the boats. But the worst is to somehow keep trying year after year after year. All of a sudden you're 40 and you got nothing to show for it.
Clary, you don't understand. It's hard for women to stay thin.
It's hard. You know what's harder? Being a fat sow and not having a single guy savior. Yeah, we're going to find out where this all ends up here pretty soon. And give it another 10, 15 years, you're going to see where these work avoidant people are.
Yeah.
When they hit their 60s.
On your point there, Chad, about women staying thin, I've been trending on Twitter like
I
all
saw
day
that.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
see that. Yeah.
yeah. Because I reacted to some Reddit post where some chick was mad at her husband because he now loved her after she lost 50 pounds, and she was like, "How dare he not love me when I was thinner or
Wait,
when I
really?
was
How do I
fatter?"
get on this? How do I bring in my guns to bear on this idiot?
Hold on. I'll next time you guys are
Well,
chatting,
next
I'll
time,
link you
yeah,
the
no,
link to
just
that.
tag
Yeah,
me in
yeah,
it or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I'll find
I'll
it.
tag you in it. You'll get a laugh out of it. But yeah, indeed. Let's see now. Yeah, so Cappy, walk us through if anybody here who hasn't watched your show, you talk about this quite frequently about the hard way and the really, really hard way. So
Right.
could you please explain to us what the really hard way is and the hard way is?
Okay. All right. So, what people think is there are two options in life. There's the easy way and the hard way. And the easy way, kind of maybe the path of least resistance, usually poses itself or is couched within the dressing of all the bullshit your parents and teachers and everyone told you. Follow your heart and money will follow. Do what you're passionate about.
Just be yourself.
Just be yourself and all this other stuff. And people are like, oh, that's good because I don't like working hard. Period. Full stop. I want myself is be a fat, masturbating, Mountain Dew swilling, Cheetos horking video game player who lives in my parents' basement. And they said to be myself and just be really nice to girls and vote Democrat. That'll get me the girls, or I'll achieve success or something like that. But more commonly, people say, well, I'll go to college and study what I like, not what pays.
And that's what I did. Big
Right.
mistake.
And what ends up happening is if you give that advice of, well, just do what you want and inevitably the money will follow, or do what you're passionate about. The problem is humans are pretty universal. And if you think it's fun working with children, well, then 40 million other 17-year-old girls are going to think it's fun and working with children. They're all going to major in early childhood education or elementary education. Now you got a flooded market. This is why you don't get paid a lot to be a beer meister. This is why you don't get paid a lot to work with children or be a be a journalist. All right. It just doesn't pay because the market is flooded. So what ends up happening is in you shirking, I'm not going to do it the hard way. I'm going to do it the easy way. Well, you realize maybe about 35, 40 there is no easy way. There's the hard way, which is going into engineering, majoring in accounting, learning a trade, working hard, saving your money, and then the really hard way, which is what you just did, pissing away 10 to 20 years of your life trying to make it as a journo or an actress over in LA, which then means you wasted all that time and now you have to go back to square one and do what you should have done the first time, and that is major or study or work hard or right off the bat. And so because I would say largely American parents or American parenting, certainly the teachers and certainly the media and certainly the schools want to tell you to follow your heart, money, major in whatever you want because they get employed, and your parents don't actually have to work hard and discipline you and tell you no. And so we're on our third or fourth generation of young people. We're sending it off to lies, and they will choose the easy way. They will believe in, I can major in this and I'll do well. And we're going to have another student loan crisis. And then there's going to be $2 trillion of student loans and nothing will actually improve. Whereas if you had just told people the truth and people put the effort into doing it right the first time, we would all 3 or 4 generations that are alive today, we would all be at least 10 years, a full decade ahead of where we are now. And so if you just realize there is no easy way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I made this mistake horribly because when my folks got divorced, I was in my late teens and I just wanted to get the hell out. So I decided to go to college, not knowing at all what I wanted to do in my entire life. Switched majors 4 times while I was in college. Took 5 years to graduate and ended up double majoring and get ready for this, Cappy. Get ready to pull out your guns. Are you
going to hurt my blood pressure? Going to go up?
Oh boy,
probably. I double majored in history and sociology.
Oh,
you dumbass!
Yep.
You dumbass!
Yep.
You have athletes in your classes, or
yeah, pretty much. It was rough. It was rough, but you know what? Luckily for me, I was fortunate enough to not have student loans because I got really, really good grades in school and went on a full ride. So at least I had that going for me. So I don't have any loans, but I have a worthless degree, 2 worthless degrees. So
And if you ever want to work a real job, what would you have to do?
I'd have to go back and do something. I mean, I've been doing trades for a couple years now, and I am very, very close to switching over to Chad's line of work and go for the accounting route. I hear nothing but good things on your guys' Elkins Accounting Hour shows, which are fantastic shows, by the way. Everyone in the chat, please go tune in to the Elkins Accounting Hour.
We're doing one after this. No, he wouldn't have to. That's one thing I preach on my show is you don't necessarily have to go back to school to do it, which is what I like so much about it. You can just get certified.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chad, I guess you can, the floor is yours here. How, would you recommend? I mean, obviously, you guys are huge recommenders of the accounting profession these days, and honestly, you guys, basically, the 2 of you have convinced me this is the way to go. I like my traveling, I like my hikes. You guys know this. I post a bunch of pictures. The guys in the chat of where I'm going and out and about and such. Cappy, you came on earlier this year. We talked about reconnaissance and such. So, I mean, this is definitely something that I want to get into at this point. The remote working, and all that fun stuff. So, Mr. Elkins, how feasible is it for people to get into the accounting industry in this day and age?
I mean, Clarey and I have talked about it a lot. It's extremely easy to get into because, I mean, there's a shortage, particularly if you want to get into tax accounting or bookkeeping. I mean, they are just desperate for people to enter this industry. And, you don't need to go back to college to do it. If you're going to do taxes, you can just get your enrolled agent certification, pass 3 tests. If you want to do bookkeeping, you just have to get QuickBooks certified. I had a consultation with someone yesterday who found my channel. I told him I do recommend, and I think Red Hawk, I might recommend this for you. I think it's worth taking an intro to accounting course. That doesn't mean you have to go take a live one in a community college or whatever, because you can probably just do it online. But that's a great way to it's a great first step just to make sure you understand the relationship between assets, liabilities. Clarey? Yeah.
So you're saying there's a demand for an intro to accounting careers course.
Oh no. Oh no. What have I done?
And Red Hawk, we're here to talk about profiting and getting rich, right? And making money. Oh, and entrepreneurship. Oh, if only there was a platform that was maybe teachable where you could offer courses with your expertise. And Red Hawk, are you aware of the concept of passive income? You know why they push that so much?
Absolutely.
Why don't you explain that? Maybe explain it to Chad, because he seems to fail in understanding this concept. Go ahead, explain that to
Well, wouldn't it be a wonderful idea to have, in addition to your day job, to have something making you money on the outside? Something that you already put the work into up front, and something that's sitting on the side that you don't exactly have to worry about, but occasionally, that's making some money for you. Why wouldn't you have that? Maybe something like, I don't know, an online class, or maybe.
But Red Hawk, is it possible I could be making money while I sleep?
I already make money while I sleep. But anyway, I need to take a course on minimalism, which is unteachable
Don't change the topic here, Mr. Procrastinator. Don't you even
we've talked about this. If I did a course, I wouldn't be teaching anybody accounting. It would be more like these are the steps that I think you should take, if you want to get into bookkeeping or if you want to get into tax accounting. So it would be less instructional about, debits and credits and T accounts and more about
right. No, I agree. Yeah.
How good are the in my basic research here, the one that keeps always popping up is the H&R tax course, the H&R block tax course. Is that fairly decent, Chad? What do you think?
I've had a couple of guinea pigs. One of them's named Parker, and he's been on my channel a few times. He really sang the praises of it, and the courses are good. Even if you do a busy season with them, he said it was very good. I mean, they'll teach you what you need to know. Now, the pay isn't great that first year, but remember, we're just looking for certifications and experience to start out, and then that's when all the good stuff comes in later.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so let's see here. What else do we have to say on Get Rich Quick Bros? I mean, just scrolling
They're
through.
assholes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, like,
there's certainly that.
I mean, forget the feasibility and what have you just like there's a
Idea
life
guy.
cycle. There's a life cycle. They start off in sports, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. You're in a, and there's the athletes who are real athletes, and then there's the popular douchebags who get instilled in their brain that they got to have logos. You know, I need a logo in my life because those shoes don't have a Nike Air check mark, and that car doesn't have the BMW checkerboard or whatever they have it is. And I gotta get as many logos in my life. But wait a minute, there's the easy way and the hard way. And the hard way sounds like a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do, bro, is I'm gonna sales and the big idea, and I'm gonna crypto whatever, drop ship and flip how all that other crap. But I don't know if you've noticed it, and Chad, maybe you, but especially when I was in banking at the height of the housing, I saw their kings. I saw the kings and the princes of the dude bro world. And these guys are just a bunch of slimy, skeezy, fast talking douchebags. And so I just, Chad, you said it, and I'll tell you this: if you are smart, if you see someone with a luxury car, unless the person's hobby is fancy cars, they are lying. They do not have the money, and you should not listen to, unless they said, oh, I'm a surgeon or something obvious where they just got gobs of money and sure, why not buy it? But if there's any kind of like, hey, I'm a businessman, and they say, what are you a businessman in? Real estate? F that guy.
Real estate's a big one. Yeah. I don't take, I'll just say it. I don't give a shit. I don't take real estate people as clients. I mean, I'm full anyway, but they're the worst ones to work with. They don't keep good records. They're very cocky. They think that they're God's gift to like gab and selling things. And so they do things like they'll lease or buy these very expensive cars because they're like, I need to show the image that I can sell. But the problem is they're not making any money. They're not making any money. So, it's I think that's very true. If you see somebody driving around in a luxury car, you might want to ask yourself, can they really afford that?
I would, if I were to have a daughter, I would tell her the fancier the car, the worse the guy. And there's some exceptions, but whether you're doing business, whether you're working for someone, whether you want to go into business with someone, whether you're thinking about, I don't know, lending a guy this money if you're in the lending industry, you're going to have a 98%. A luxury car is a worse indicator than a low credit score, or is a better indicator of how bad that person is than a credit score. So I would agree. Anyone. And here's the thing, Chad, should you flash your money around?
No.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Don't make it obvious. You seem like a douchebag, or you're painting a target on your back. I think
right.
Warren Buffett drives like a Civic or something.
Yeah. He stays in the same house he's been in since the 50s, I think. So
yeah,
it is and I don't know, I think with the advent of the internet, and I think people are starting to come around, but I don't think people are believing in this materialism and, I got the house on the lake and all that. I think people are fine. They're not the majority by any stretch, but there is at least an established alternative viewpoint to how wealth is used and displayed here in the U.S.
At least for nothing else. I mean, the economy is going to wake up a lot of people onto that as well.
Pretty soon.
Soon. Indeed. All right, let's go through a couple super chats here. Drew for $2. Sam Bankman-Fried trial has just started and he's screwed.
Is he?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the people in government have gotten away with worse shit before, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Is this that ugly guy who looks like he's missing a chromosome? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you should see the girl. He was.
Was she?
She was horrible too.
Oh yeah.
But he had the money. He's supposed to get the girls.
Well, they were in like a shitty, like, there's like the meme of like polyamory in real life, and then polyamory in real life. It's like the meme is like, oh man, it's the guy like Dan Bilzerian with like 20 like hot chicks with big boobs.
Also, in reality, also all bought and paid for. Okay.
Well, yeah, that too. But in reality, it's like, one like 4 chick with like 5 3 dudes. Is normally how it goes. So. Yeah, horrible. We got our boy Nuke in the chat, of course.
Hey, Nuke, what's
Good
up?
to see him. Yeah, good guy. Go check him out. And Drew, for another $2, live below your means and invest in index funds. That's a good one. Go off on index funds, Cappy. Why should we invest in index funds?
Well, okay, they beat the majority of investment professionals.
Yep.
They're cheaper because you're not hiring a human being to choose your investments for you. They're already pre-established by a formula. So you got to pay less in terms of fees and all that. And it's immediate diversification. That's about it. I mean, it's the simple. I guess the biggest advantage is it's simple. And now with these things called robo advisors, you just type in your age, your life expectancy, how much money you got, and they will invest for you across various index funds and change it out over time. That it's made retirement planning so much easier because you don't have to do the research anymore. And of course, it could still go down, but historically and track record speaking, it's the you don't need a degree in finance. You don't even need to take a course. You just do that, and that's one of the best things you could statistically do to help achieve a good retirement.
You guys got time for a tragic stock market story that happened within the last 6 months?
Did it involve someone getting hurt?
Financially, big time.
Is it a good person or a bad person?
It's a good person. Somebody you've met. We're going to protect identities here. But
yeah, okay. Well, I guess. But tell us anyway. I don't like it when good people get hurt. But go ahead.
So this is a friend of mine, and he's also a client, but he's a friend. He likes to play with options, and we were saying easy money leads to you losing it later on. He shorted the market back in 2021, and he just hit it perfectly. Okay, and he was really happy about it. Problem is, he got a little cocky, and he started shorting the market at the beginning of this year. He was just so sure that he was going to hit on this again, and so as time went on, it didn't hit. He was out of the option, and so he started borrowing money because he panicked, and he's like, I need to get money. I need to throw more money at it so I can recoup my investment. In the end, he lost $2 million and ended up $200,000 in debt.
Wow.
Easy come, easy go. Yeah. So that's why I like index funds, because it just takes the emotion out of it. You don't have to do this stuff.
Here's another thing about get rich quick. Why does he need to play options or risk $2 million?
That's what I asked him. He said it was an emotional thing.
Well, go do some heroin because it's a cheaper.
Go play slots.
I mean, really,
do anything.
I could get my kicks different ways and a lot more cheaply. But I mean, do you guys remember it was a horrible remake, The Gambler, I think it was, where John Goodman says you were $2 million ahead.
Fuck you,
man, if you got $2 million, you're free. You're free.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, toss it in the index fund. You go the indestructible shit box, blah, blah, blah. But and I'm a capitalist. Go make as much money as you want. No one's entitled to it because you're the one that made it. But if I got $2 million, you guys would never see me again. I'd be like, I'm gone.
You'd have to see. I would need to see you again.
You would need to see me again and say, hey, Chad, remember that time I used to work? I don't do that anymore.
So at least to wrap up that story, he asked me to change all of his passwords to the brokerage statements, and so I did that because he recognized he had a problem here. It was just too late when we finally came to that realization. So it is gambling. It's gambling.
It is.
Yeah. Unbelievable. On the topic of saving money here, and this is one of the favorite things that you talk about, Cappy, that I absolutely love. You're just talking about minimalism all the time. And one of the things that sticks out to me is clothes, and people in the chat could flip out about this or whatever. I can't really remember the last time I bought brand new clothes. Number one, because it's the gift that family members always give you at around holidays or something like that. So any new clothes that I need for myself are just given to me. And 3 out of 4 times I end up returning it anyway, because it's oh, you got me the same thing I got last year kind of deal, So I don't understand why people are dropping 50, 60, 100 bucks on shirts and jeans and stuff like this. It's
are they though? Because I'm old. Are young people really that stupid? You're dropping thousands of dollars on clothes?
Oh, undoubtedly some people are. I mean, we touched on it earlier. The shoes is the big one. Like people drop a lot of
Shoes.
money on like the expensive shoes, which I don't know, man. Give me my area cowboy boots any day, man. Those things last me for forever. So
I don't what you should have learned, because I haven't been in middle school in almost 40 years. What y'all should have
Wow,
learned
that's
in
true.
K through 12 is that expensive clothing is stupid. It's stupid. And you can afford very nice fashion. Okay, let me ask you guys this. What makes fashion? The brand name or your ability to pair stuff well and taste?
Well, technically it would be the ability to pair things, like what looks good on you.
Right.
But that's not what the general answer that everybody would say. But then again, most people are stupid. So
Well, go ahead, Chad.
I just had a question for you because I was going to talk about, the candidate here. Does your GF ever just buy clothes for you?
oh
she'll
my
just
god,
be
they
out shopping.
they do that all the time, and not to mention for
Candidate does it
themselves.
constantly.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say this: like the thing I buy for chicks, I buy chicks lingerie. I do it.
You-
It's
Attaboy, there you
that
go.
makes
Well, you did
sense.
learn
Yeah.
something.
But
All right, you
that's-
saved yourself with that sociology degree.
that fucking shit's expensive. Fucking
It's-
Victoria's Secret. It's absurd. It's like less fabric and less clothing than a pair of jeans. It's like $60. It's fucking stupid. But it's worth it, I guess.
No, I have made it abundantly clear to the GF that like it has nothing really to do with clothes. It's like, this is my house. Nothing comes in it unless I authorize it, because I don't like clutter and all that. Now, has the GF bought me clothes in the past? Yes. If like I tear jeans or whatever, and here's where I'm a little bit more, I guess, philosophical, but I don't care what I look like. She wants to dress me up, fine. So when it comes time to replace a shirt, she'll get me one, but yeah, she will. But that's because it's like, no, that's your job. You dress me up however you want. But she does not come in here, oh, I got you this cute pink shirt, and I think it like, no, get that shit out of here. No, that didn't
Well, see,
happen.
the candidate's been doing that lately, but she actually has a really good eye for this, and she
Let her
gets
do it.
great deals.
A lot of women
like
do.
she's
Yeah.
really good at this.
Yeah.
Who are you dressing up for?
Her, or,
Right. Well, so
other
let her
people.
dress you up. Yeah, but
I'm
what I would
totally cool with it.
as long as like you toss out some you're not using, because otherwise they'll buy in 10 years time, you'll have a closet full of shit. And you'll be like, no more stuff. So you gotta get rid of the stuff. So I've been cycling. I mean, obviously I don't dress super fancy, but I've slowly been cycling out all my old duds from 15 years ago. But we're rapidly getting to the point where it's like, no more stuff. This is fun. We got enough dress shirts. We got enough stuff.
She brought me a Whataburger shirt the other day. Pretty
There you go.
Texan, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Nice work, Chad.
Yeah. Well, thank Clarey.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm his what, gigolo pimp? What am I?
You guys, this is how you get to girls. You make friends with somebody who's, reasonably popular on YouTube, and somehow, and I mean really somehow, attracts a female audience, a small female audience.
Very
but,
small.
And then, he'll occasionally introduce members of that audience to his friends. And that's how you get the girls.
That's how you get the girls. You all got to know me. Yep.
Exactly. I'll come visit you out in South Dakota, Cappy, and I'll bring you a giant gift box full of things you can add to your house. Exactly.
I will make you go to, we're going to, what we'll first do, Red Hawk? We're not going to go to Mount Rushmore or Badlands National Park. We're going to go to the Rapid City Dump, and then which Chad has been to.
And you have to pay to use it.
You have to pay to use it. And Red Hawk, I will make sure you get the experience of paying to drop off your own shit that I don't want.
These are good times, I tell you.
I do have some hilarious stories of when I was a kid. My dad and his best friend from college, whenever they had shit that they needed to get rid of, they would have me get in the back of the pickup truck, and they would force me to drop the stuff off in one of the dumpsters there's like 3 schools that are right like kitty corner to each other near where we grew up. And they had like all their giant ass like dumpsters in between like these 3 schools and stuff. And they're like, all right, son, get out there. And they'd like drive away in the truck as I'm throwing the stuff in there. There's cameras everywhere and stuff. And they were just laughing the entire time. But
nice.
Fun moments. Hey, you guys know this guy, celebrity.
Oh my God, why is he on your
Crashed.
channel and not mine? I haven't seen him in years. Where's he been?
I don't know. He's busy banging all them
It's,
hoes.
it's busy work being T-Rash.
Yeah, it
T-Rash.
absolutely is. At least one of our guys is out there winning. So, that's the thing, dude. I don't think I could ever really be upset at another guy for getting laid. Like you see people like on Twitter flip out all the time, about the stuff. It's like, God, you're ruining the women. You're licking all the ice cream and all this shit. I'm
No.
sitting here on the outside, like,
here.
yeah, I'm sitting on the sidelines
dumb.
cheering that guy on. It's like, good for you, dude. Fan-fucking-tastic. Amazing. There was this thing going around in like the group chat, the room with like Rolo and a bunch of guys, and some guy linked it. There was this guy who had like stage 4 cancer, got invited on a podcast, and 2 porn stars came out and banged him like right there on the podcast. And there were like a bunch of people flipping out like, this is degenerate. I'm like, you know what? Good for this fucking guy. He's got stage 4 cancer.
Red Hawk, are you old enough to remember? I don't think you were around the 80s Christian right movement.
No.
Okay.
However, I do associate with a lot of these new like Christian nationalist type people. And
right.
such,
well, it's the same thing. Nobody can have fun. The devil's in the music. Dungeons and Dragons is satanic. They're just not happy, fun people. And I could understand if I was relegated to dating Christian women in America today, I'd be sexually frustrated as well. But I don't know. Stop being Christian. Be secular. I don't know. Go have some fun.
I came from that background, and I've tweeted about this before, but like these kinds of like church girls, when they get to like mid-20s, late 20s, they just really do not know how to behave around men at all. They're like I call them like nervous Nellies, and they just get freaked out over everything, and you can't be any semblance of like sexual escalation, and like it's just really weird to me how like the chick is upholding like the standards of the church, which is weird because as far as I'm concerned, like if you're going to be with me, like I'm your God, for lack of a better word, but it is what it is.
I have a video titled Single Christian Girls, had it qualified. Single Christian girls just don't like sex. And I say that because it's like 85% true. So
how the fuck do you not like sex? I don't get it.
I mean, go talk to Christian women. I don't know. Go talk to married women in the United States. I don't know. They just don't like sex.
Yeah, there's that.
It's the devil.
It's like, ew, gross. Like, what are you, middle school? What, you just like put what in where? Oh, that's gross. It's like, you're 32. What the hell? What?
I really got to read your book, the one about how women don't like men. I haven't read that one yet. I got to check that one out.
Book of Numbers?
Book of Numbers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if you need it. Yeah.
I read that one. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a short one though. I remember reading that one like in an afternoon or something like that. It was like
short.
150, 20 pages or something. But yeah, good book indeed. My favorite of yours, Cappy, is still Reconnaissance, man. I love that book.
Really?
Good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I like that book. I think it's a sleeper book that not enough people take advantage of. But I mean, not everybody's into like hiking and running around the United States and such.
Maybe that's why it didn't sell. When I started mentioning the hiking, it just threw everybody off. Like, F that. I don't want that.
How many states are you at, Cappy? Do you know? Like how many you visited?
Oh,
off the top of your head?
I have not visited Hawaii, Arkansas, and then New England. Was that Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine? So 5 states I haven't been to.
Oh,
You got a free place to stay if you go to Hawaii. I know you like your free
I know.
lodging,
I'm going to be going out to
yeah.
Asia. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a look. I'll make sure that your faucets are working and your grounds are kept. I'll make sure it's all there.
Yeah, that'll be good to check out. I'm at 38 right now out of 50. So got a couple more to check off the list. Mostly New England, like you.
I don't know if you're missing anything. I don't think you have to hit.
I don't really think so either.
Like,
but
are you excited? Did you hit Alabama? Like, I could do without Nebraska. Unfortunately, I've driven through it many times. There's just everyone can skip Iowa. You don't have to go there.
I'm at about 40 states, and I've lived in the state next to Iowa for almost 13 years. I've still never been to Iowa. I
yeah,
just don't have a reason to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they got the world's biggest ball of yarn there or something,
I think you'll all live full lives if you don't see Iowa. I'm pretty sure you'll be okay without that.
Haven't been to Wyoming either. I know you love that state.
Hey, you know what? Cappy digs on Wyoming, but Cheyenne is one of my favorite cities in the entire country.
It's because it's Denver light. That's the capital of the state, and that's where people have to be hot because legislation doesn't get passed until some senator gets his dick sucked by an intern over there. So the women are reasonably attractive, and the men don't all have DWIs, and not everyone gets in a fight every night in Cheyenne.
I go out
Nice.
hunting outside of like Laramie almost every
yeah,
single year.
Medicine
So,
Bow area.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean the University of Wyoming's out there and stuff, but we go out there and hunt prairie dogs, which is an absolute riot. I want to get some of the masculine geek guys to go and do it one of these days because it's so much fucking fun. But anywho, so back to the topic at hand here. So minimalism, it's saving your money, which Cappy, you're gonna love this story. So I bought a car a couple years ago, right? It was a 2017 Dodge Ram 1500. We had one previous owner, 8,000 miles on it, and I got it in cash, 17 grand.
Not bad.
It's a nice car.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, good deal, Red Hawk, man.
And that was it. It's like, I do not need to buy any more cars after this. I'm done. I'm done. I take that thing across the country. I picked up Chad in that truck. You know,
Nice truck.
It is a nice truck.
Standard transmission.
Yep.
Really? You could drive stick?
No, it's automatic. It's automatic.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to call that a truck.
Automatic has become standard, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
For
the thing that is a pain in the ass.
types, yes, maybe.
The only thing that is a pain in the ass with it is that the gear shift is that stupid fucking dial. Instead of like it's horrible. Yeah, that's the only thing I really don't like about it. And when I first got it, because I was previously driving a 2004 1500, and that one actually had a stick, I'm sitting at a red light trying to fuck around with the radio right when I bought the car, and I switched it into neutral, thinking it was like the volume for the thing. I was just sitting at a red light. I was like, oh shit, I can't be doing that. So, but yeah, I mean, I look at the used car prices now, man, like so lucky. When I got that thing, when I did, I got it 2 weeks before the election in 2020. Well, so yeah, I was very lucky. The guy hit a deer with it, and there was like a scratch on the front. That was it. He was like, all right, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I mean, some of the front door actuators are kind of fucked on it, so you have to like manually stick the key in to open the car door. But who cares?
Oh no.
Well, yeah, boo-hoo. I can't click the button to unlock the front door. Whoop-de-doo. Well, I'll live. But yeah, so saving your money, really important after you make the money. So Cappy, you have a course on this. Tell us about why everyone should be
not to piss away money they don't have.
Exactly.
Well, because you run out of money. There we go. Deep economic secrets. This is doctoral level economics. You should probably not spend more money than you make because then you run out of money. Are you talking about the merits of minimalism?
Well, I mean, I hear you talk about all the time, like it's not just about saving your dough. It's about actually fixing the way your brain is wired.
Yes.
And I think there's definitely something to that for sure.
Here's the main reason everyone should pursue minimalism to varying degrees, but at least a certain amount. You really don't control how much you make. That's like a 40-60. You got to put your effort into it. There are things you can do, like obviously become a surgeon. But a lot of it is also outside of your control. What's the economy like? Are they hiring? Is there new technology that obsoleted your job or brought your job in? So you don't fully control how much you make. You do 100% control how much you spend. And especially going back to middle school, you are going to waste your life and piss it away if you don't get rid of this materialistic value system that you're taught in the K through 12 school system and reinforced well beyond, where you got to get a brand new SUV Range Rover, where you got to go and get the box office seats, bro, over at whatever Wrigleyville or wherever
Avoid Wrigleyville.
You gotta buy $5,000 worth of clothes, that kind of stuff. And if you can get your brain to realize, one, you don't need that. Two, it has never made anyone happy. And three, freedom is more important than all the material items in the world. Then you will actually change your spending behavior and even begin to reprogram your psychology where you don't want stuff. Like I am at the point, I'm like, no one bring me. I don't need a housewarming gift. It's just going to waste my time. It's going to go in the garbage. When you get to this point, you're like, oh, wow. And it's not like, for example, alcoholism, where I would love nothing more than to drink Rumplements every day. All right. It's not like the urge is still there with getting to minimalism, you realize how stupid materialism is, and you don't want to have anything to do with it. So then that's why I have that course on minimalism, is because it goes in the deep psychological drive, and it parallels or fashions, or what's the word, maps onto addiction, because that's why you have this compunction to spend more, not to mention you're socially conditioned, like, dude, bro, Air Jordans, tell me I got a small dick. All right. So that's what it is it goes into that. But that's why I'm for minimalism, is because out of everything everyone can do, the number one thing you can do to drastically improve your standards of living and life is to need less money.
Yeah.
And once you need less money, you need less money for a car. Like you said, Red Hawk, it's $36,000 for your average used car now. You saved yourself 20 grand. If you need to spend $50,000 a year, and that's even on the low end, you need probably twice the amount of retirement savings that you would based on what you actually need. And so your life gets a lot easier once you realize you should really stop buying the stupid shit you don't need. And that's literally the best financial advice that I can give. And so that's why I hound it or harp on it so much, is because that is what's going to get most people out of poverty is minimalism.
Right. One of the mental models that I used for this when I was trying to cut down on my spending, as it were, and I know this isn't exactly true and exactly how it works, but I liked having it in my brain when I, laid down to sleep at night, that I didn't spend a single dollar on the day. And what I mean by that is I cooked my own food. I didn't go out of my way to go buy something out of the way. I didn't like pay for gas today because I got a big truck, so I fill up maybe like two times a month, maybe three at most, as I'm driving around. So yeah, I mean, it's not exactly how it works. Like you're paying electric bills and shit, but right, just like that mental model in your brain's like, yeah, I didn't waste like a single buck today on anything.
Well, part of what I have to do in my job a lot of the time is I have to practically beg people to please try to budget a little bit with their business expenses, because they get stuck in their head. Oh, I can just write all this off. Well, that's just going to eat into your profits. So I've even set up spreadsheets for things like meals. I mean, these therapists love their furniture, the ones that have offices. And I'm just like, please furniture. They change out their couches and their desks. I mean, God.
And these are other people are taking advice from about their mental health.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
I swear Wayfair is evil. They just like suck these women in.
Oh man, Chad, do you mean to tell me that women spend money superfluously without a man in their lives? Come on, say it ain't so.
Well, it's hard for them to budget.
Hey, men piss away their money, man.
Yes, they do.
Criticize women all you want. You're right. Women will piss away a ton of the taxpayers' money on a worthless joke of a degree. But man, especially cars, men will piss away their money on dumbass cars.
I'm not being sexist.
Yeah, no, I really can't. It's just a female thing.
No,
men.
It's kind of like It's kind of like, would you rather get shot by a gun or die from 1,000 cuts from a razor blade? I feel like that's the way that like men and women spend money. Men are gonna waste on like the big ticket items, and the women are just be like, oh, I need another handbag. Oh, I'll take another $100 pair of Lululemon sweatpants. Or
that's accurate from what I see. Yeah.
Do you know why they do that?
Emotion or
no, the absence of. They have no love in their life. They're not alive. They're soulless.
Well, Cappy, it's hard for men to say no.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to point that out. You're all great. You bought a new handbag. You're a truly worthless human being. Ooh, you got the double Dodge wide doodly doodly bobbity bobbity truck. I'm sorry. You really just shouldn't even be alive right now. I'm just terribly sorry that brought you joy. But
well, I'm sure you saw this, Cappy, growing up in Wisconsin. This is definitely like a Midwest kind of thing. Is the guys that will deck out their trucks to go mudding, and like they do it like once a year, so they get like the giant tires and get the truck lifted and everything like this. And well,
if they do it regularly, okay, that's like people who get Jeeps, but for the most part, I'm sorry, your life has no meaning or purpose. I'm terribly sorry.
Jeep people are interesting because they do it as, there's like a Jeep culture that goes out there. Like you guys like see like the ducks, like people do like the rubber ducks on like other Jeep cars and such. So a lot of people get into that just for like the club, I guess, as it were. You know,
Mhm.
my buddy bought a Gladiator the first week that it came out, but you know, he's a doctor, so I mean, I guess he could afford it.
You can
But
afford it.
you know, I mean, I don't know. Like you got to ask these questions. You know, like are people actually spending their money wisely or not? You know, because they could put up such a facade by borrowing and
No,
such.
well, the doctor probably because he obviously has the cash and the money, but for the most part, if people have nice things and they're not like old or obviously wealthy for obvious reasons, they're going into debt and they're wasting their money.
I can confirm that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can.
Like just yesterday, I bought an old classic Ford gumball machine.
I saw that on your
Um,
Instagram.
Yeah, and I always wanted one since I was a kid because I was a little kid. I'd see it. No, you can't have a gumball. Okay, because it cost a penny back in my day. So, but I liked it. It's a nice little thing. Now it's an original one. It's got the glass bulb and all that, and I spent $175 on it. Now a lot of people say, "Well, that's not minimalistic." It's like, Chad, you've been in my place. How much crap do I have around?
It's not a ton. I mean, you have
Right,
some nice things. It's just you live up to your teachings.
right. Where did I
Yeah.
buy all my furniture?
Oh, where did you buy? Was it online?
Walmart.com.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
remember
I
it
got
was online, but I couldn't
Yeah,
remember where.
Walmart.com. It was I furnished the whole, and this gets back to that taste, having a good fashion sense as opposed to buying the brand. And so
Yeah,
what will end up happening is if you're a minimalist, you become old like me. Guess what you have left over after the decades of being a minimalist?
not much.
Not
Yep.
much. But
No,
they
no,
put
not
some cool
material.
things.
Okay, I'll explain it
Money.
again.
You have money.
You have money left over. You're
Yes.
like, oh, now
Yeah.
I can afford the occasional nice, tasteful thing. And
Mhm.
so that's another thing that minimalists get to look forward to. But I can't emphasize how far taste goes because people are like, what? I mean, Chad, you've been here. People are like, wow, look at this place. This is really nice. They don't know I spent like $2,500 max on all the furniture and went to Facebook Marketplace and went to the use it shop and all that. It looks like $1,000,000, but it ain't.
Yeah, brand names are stupid. I mean,
Mhm.
would you agree, Claire? Like, it's better to spend your money if you're going to spend it on experiences instead of
Yes.
things. Is that a good way?
Oh
Yes, I
yeah,
would.
that's
Yeah.
that's definitely
Yeah.
what I generally spend my money on.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Yeah.
travels or going hunting or things like that.
Yeah,
Those are the
it
kinds of things
can't
I
be
enjoy.
taken away, no, and you won't regret it. You're like, "Oh, I did it." I went hunting for elk out
Right.
in the at Medicine Bow area. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was in Europe earlier this year for 2.5 weeks,
That's
and
right.
I went and saw our friend Jack Napier over there and
Yes, you
such. And
did.
yeah, I mean, it set me back a couple grand, but
I
it
don't know
was
if I spend
fun.
that
It was
much money
great.
to see Jack. That sounds like a lot of money to go see Jack. Probably
He may
pay
come to
money
the
not to see
US at
him.
some point.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. We had a lot of fun. We did like 7 hours of pickup together at one of these
Mm,
festivals, and
Wow.
we had such a blast.
that's an experience, all right.
Oh, we had so much fun. Everyone is tall and attractive and thin over there. Like everyone, I was blown away the amount of attractive Dutch women. So,
Wow.
uh, anywho, Drew for $2. Cappy, what's the lowest credit score you've seen? It only goes to like 300 is the
It's
lowest.
in the three. I think it was 370. It was
Wow.
370 or 390. It was in the 300s. I didn't know they went that low, and I was an analyst at the time.
Wow,
Yep.
wow.
Guess
I
what we
mean,
did with the loan?
you probably accepted it.
We approved it. I'm like,
What?
what? I didn't approve it. I didn't approve it.
Was this in 2006 or something?
This was 2004 or 5, right up to the
Ugh,
buildup. Yep.
close enough.
Guess what? He didn't pay his loan back.
What? You're kidding.
No shot. No, come on.
Oh.
I remember I was working in the mortgage industry for a bit, like 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember the lowest threshold that we would accept people was 480 was the credit score.
480.
Yeah. So we would have to, and you would have like customers that you would call in and they'd be on the cusp of it. There'd like be some old lady down in like Florida or something who had like a 450 credit score, who had like a bunch of like doctor's bills or something that she had to pay off. They're like $96 or something. Like, oh, if you could pay this, you could get by, and then we could refinance you and such. And I was like, fuck this. This is horrible. I left white collar work shortly after that.
You have to work just to get it down to the 400s. Like you purposely have to. Today I'm going to screw over a creditor. You got to go out there with intent. That just you don't just I'm down a little bit because I forgot a bill. Like you have to make an effort to achieve that.
Looking at stuff like that, I understand why people are so demoralized, like to go out and work, because like
Mm.
if you can just get by basically doing nothing, like where's the incentive for you not to? Well, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, problems abound these days here. Gents, do you have any other closing thoughts here on saving your money, making your money, avoiding the dude bros, get rich quick? Any other closing thoughts? Speak now.
Well, real quick, I mean, I'm going to sound like a square here and remember what I do for a living. I think everybody should try to budget. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't have fun. Just try to keep track of what you're doing because this can get out of control fast. So that's my thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
it's
would.
like how'd you go bankrupt? First slowly and then very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I'd add to this is the more you try to avoid the work, the less rich you'll ever be. And if the sooner you realize that and say, I'm gonna buckle down and do the right thing and work hard and save my money, then you will, I can't guarantee you'll be rich, but you'll be way better off chasing these get rich quick schemes or following your heart, and the money will follow. Once you take your lumps up front, then life does get a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely.
And don't get married. That's the other. Don't. If you're a girl, get married, but if you're a guy,
Yeah.
don't get married. Then.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because
No, it's not. You say we're not getting married, and then
well,
oh,
I want kids, Cappy. I want kids.
oh,
You want
well, you're
kids?
yeah,
So-
okay.
Oh,
Have
good for
fun
you.
with that.
I do
Yeah.
want kids. I know, I get it, but
That's-
we'll
hey.
see. We'll tackle that bridge when we get to it. But I still got plenty of life left to live, as it were. So, all right, gentlemen, there are no more super chats left. Thank you for everyone showing up in the chat as always, and a lot of regulars in Clary's chat, which you guys will occasionally see me over there in
Crazy
these two
kids,
guys'
the
chats.
crazy yahoos, get them out.
We're going live again in about 20 minutes on my channel.
Yeah.
Chad Elkins CPA.
Yeah, you guys should definitely go check that out. But we'll go around here. Chad, where can people find you? Do you have anything to promote, sir?
Just my website, elkinscpa.com. Really nothing to promote except I do a live stream about getting into accounting and tax work. Just at Chad Elkins CPA is my name on YouTube, and Clarey likes to hang out there sometimes.
Yeah, and making an announcement here first, he is currently in the works for a tax accounting course. He will be making it available through Teachable. He's going to get it done any day now. So
Soon.
yes, yes, soon he'll get it done soon. Cappy, where can people find you?
You can find me at assholeconsulting.com, but I have closed that down to the end of the month because I'm working on my new course titled How CPAs Can Create a Course on Teachable. That's my new course. I hope to sell
Do I have
lots
to pay
of
for that.
Yes, you do.
A one-time payment of $1,000.
40%. Yeah, that's it. No, so assholeconsulting.com if you want to check it out, but that's closed until I'm done with my latest book. The one thing I do have, I guess, if you want germane to this topic, is I do have my minimalism course. It's called Achieving Minimalism Theory and Practice. You could find that on Teachable, and it is expensive. It's $450, but I am not fucking around, and no one does anything unless they pay a good price and suffer pain and agony. And it's going to be more than $450 because you get to pay taxes. So it's going to be $500 of pain and agony. And then you may pay the F attention and actually get your financial shit together. So that's available there. There are other courses I have called The Dad You Never Had and Achieving Financial Excellence. Those are always open. And then, yeah, that's it. Otherwise, just you'll find me. You'll know where I am.
All right, fantastic. So for myself, check out the Twitter, check out the Substack, check out the Old Glory Club, which I will be zooming over to do our weekly live stream and roundup of all the American news coming up at the top of the hour here. So be sure to check us out over there. I had an article come out last week for them about Teddy Roosevelt and American conservation. So go check that out as well. And we will be back here next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel for Man's Hour. So good night, everyone.
Good night.